So today I'm going to do product training because I know that's what a lot of you are asking for. Although I also want to preface the product training by saying that the personal development training and the mindset training and the all that stuff is way more important than product training. So for everybody that's newer in the industry, one important line that you have to be cool with is I've been doing this for a month. I have no idea. That's why I'm setting you up on a call with blank person. That's just a really, really important thing for you guys to get down. You have to be humble in the fact that you're new. One thing that a lot of agents try to do is know everything about it in the beginning. Yeah. And then you run a call with your friend, and then your friend calls you and asks you the cons, and you don't know, and then it doesn't help. Or like somebody calls you to ask you questions about the loans and the interest, and you're just trying to make shit up to sound smart, and it really doesn't make you sound smart because the information's inaccurate. It happened with me personally too. My uncle is super successful in New Jersey, ran a call with John Mason my first week in the business. He didn't know, John Mason didn't know some of the questions he was asking about real estate. So we set him up with another dude, David Pavlik, who does real estate. And they conflicted what each other was saying. They contradicted themselves. One person said this, one person said the other. And so then he came to me. And so I was just Googling the questions he was answering, and I answered them incorrectly. And then I haven't talked to him in 2 years now. All right. So like that happened to me because I wanted to be smart. And so it's just a important thing that when you're setting up appointments with other people and you're leveraging the closer, that you actually leverage the closer and you don't take it back control. Do you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, my brother Ryan,
Yeah.
he initially like do it for me. I'm just like, no, I'm gonna set you up with Josh.
Yes.
And then I started edifying Josh on the phone, and now Ryan's not even trying to call me anymore. He's trying to call Josh.
Yeah. The ideal situation is your friends don't call you. They shouldn't. They're your friends. Like they hung out with you. Your brother knew you when you were a baby. Your
Yeah.
brother should talk to me. I'm the guy that he should talk to. Yeah, and it's really important to leverage. So, like, that's a preface to it all. Is product training's actually the least important thing you need to know in the beginning. Yeah, and I don't know. I never had the thing. Like, some people are like, "Well, I need to feel confident about what I'm selling on the phone before I call people." I think that's a story in people's head. Yeah, I think that you need to call a bunch of people and just follow the script, and that you'll set them up, and then you'll learn on the phone call or on the Zoom call. That's how I learned. All right. So
Baptism by fire.
huh?
Baptism by fire.
Yeah. Like we never learned. We weren't even allowed to do product training at PHP. Yeah. Right. Now I think that was a downside to it, but I also understand the concept of it because that's not really what gets you to the next level. What gets you to the next level is taking action and all the stuff that we're listening to in Carter New this week. So I'm gonna start with the cons actually, and it kind of ties in to this. When people ask me what are the cons of life insurance, and I would write these things down because you're going to get asked it. Mm-hmm. I always just say the opportunity cost is the con. The opportunity cost is your other options. Now, Nelson Nash says the only con is not participating. The only con of infinite banking is not doing it. I always say that the con is opportunity cost. But then this is my answer. So you're like, what are the cons of life insurance? I say, well, the cons of doing infinite banking would be the opportunity cost, which would mean all of the other possible things you could do with your money. Right? Opportunity cost in like economics class is like, what are the other options? So you're going to put $100 in your policy. What else could you do with $100? Right? But then I'm going to give those examples. Like, so I'm going to be like, well, you could put it in the market in stocks or bonds or something, but then it's going to go up and it's going to go down and you're going to have to pay a fee. So like, I don't want to do that. You could put it into real estate, but why would you put it into real estate without putting it through your policy so you could leverage instead of liquidate? So like, you could go put it in there, but I don't want to liquidate my money. So I want to leverage it first. You could go pay cash, but then you have less money than you had before. So I don't want to pay cash for stuff because as soon as I pay cash, that money is gone forever. You could finance things instead of leveraging a policy, but then you're paying interest to somebody else instead of to your own banking system. And that defeats the purpose of infinite banking. Do you have any other ideas of what else you could do with your money? Well, I could buy term and invest the difference. Yeah, you could put it into term and invest the difference, but you could lose money in the market and you have to pay a fee to the brokerage account. Even if you do it online with E-Trade, you still have to pay a fee. And if you buy term, there's a 98% chance it's going to expire because you're probably not going to die in the next 20 years.
High yield savings?
Yeah, you can put it into a high yield savings account, but then you're going to get a 1099 form at the end of the year to pay taxes on the interest income. You can steal my stories too. I actually had $120,000 in my Amex high yield savings when I started in insurance from the money that I made in the loan business. And on January 2023, which is the first year, like the end of the calendar year, I got a 1099 to pay taxes on the 4% of that, which is $4,800. And I was like, what the heck? Why am I paying taxes? I can put it into another account and not have to pay the taxes on the growth. You could keep it in the bank, but inflation's going to eat it away. So what other options are there? You can still flow it through your policy and then go do all the rest of these things. But why would you pay cash or finance when you could wash it through your policy first? I don't know. Can you come up with any other cons? Like, this is what I would say. This is word for word like what I would say to a person that asked me this question. But I'm sold on that this is the best. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. So like to me, there are no cons. The only con is to not actually spend the time to understand the process. Another con you can say is people that buy a policy and don't use it. It's like buying a car and having it sit in your garage. Was that a good place to put your cash? Probably not. So why would you get a policy that you don't use either? That's the only con to me. I have no other cons. Now, if you ask Dave Ramsey, he would say that some of the cons are that whole life you don't get the cash value. That would be something that he would say. You don't get the cash value when you die. But it's not really accurate because if you look at an illustration, the cash value is increasing the dividends, and the dividends are getting purchasing paid up additions, which is therefore increasing the death benefit. So the death benefit is already including the cash value in the death benefit. And the cash value is by definition the present future value of the death benefit, which means it's the part of the death benefit that you can access now before you die. It's not actual cash value. It's not actual money sitting in a savings account for you. That's not what it is.
Like equity.
It is the equity of the home. It is the part of the death benefit that they say you can use now based on your age and your health. Why would you, if you sold a house, the equity is built into the purchase price, why would you get both? It doesn't make any sense. Imagine you sell a house and you get a check for $1 million and you had $500,000 in equity in it. Wouldn't it be foolish to then go to the bank and say, well, can I get the $500,000 in equity I have? They're like, well, the purchase price includes the equity. So what are you talking about? I didn't make it up. It's from the Case for IBC, the book.
Do you ever tell clients that are wanting to like invest their money into stocks or more aggressive portfolios that they should first put their money through the policy and then invest it in stocks?
Absolutely. I believe that you should put every single dollar that you earn into your policy. Your premiums and your income should match. You already go to someone else's bank, don't you? And then what do you do after that? You write checks against it to pay for other things in your life. Wouldn't you go to your bank if you owned a banking system?
A big rebuttal to that, like with people like that, like stocks stuff like that, is that the cost basis of the policy is what they are going to harp on, because they're like, well, I could get every dollar for dollar in the market rather than having to pay that fee
You
of the
could.
premiums.
Well,
Like that's one of the biggest things you're going to hear with people like that.
yeah, I mean, you know what? One major thing that I've come to, and this is like pretty far out, I guess is the word that I could use. I don't know. It seems like a word from like the 60s, but it's like far out of like, what is the purpose? Like, this is like a life philosophical question, but I like to ask it on calls. What's the purpose in us like making all this money and buying stocks and buying real estate anyway? Like, it's not so that you open up your Robinhood app and like feel good,
Right.
right? Eventually, it's for you to do what?
Grow your money.
Grow your wealth, and then eventually do what?
Spend it.
Yeah, pass it on or spend it. But if you're going to spend it, you're going to have to cash it out. And if you're going to cash it out, you're going to have to pay taxes. So for you to look at it without the taxes taken out is a foolish thing to do. And then if you do care about the legacy part, you're not going to spend it and cash it out, but you're going to leave it behind to your family. Well, if I put $100,000 in the stock market right now, and then I walk outside and get hit by a truck, how much are my kids going to get?
Yeah.
They're going to get $100,000.
Oh.
But if I put $100,000 into a policy right now, and then walk out and get hit by a truck, how much are my kids going to get?
Million.
Yeah, a couple $1 million. Where the heck could you do that otherwise?
But wouldn't that get taxed too?
No, it's tax
No,
free.
I'm saying like the $100,000 that.
No, it's tax free, bro.
No,
Well, in the stock, yeah,
On the
you'll
stock.
you'll get the inherited IRA rates.
Hold up. You would get a step up in basis,
Yep.
and you don't pay taxes when you're inheriting. Real estate and stock market, you do not pay taxes on the growth if you inherit the brokerage account. It's called a step up in basis. Meaning if your parents bought a house for $500,000 and it increases to $1 million and they die, you have the right at that moment to either keep it or sell it and not pay the capital gains tax. If you keep it and it goes up to $1.5 million, this is now your cost basis.
Yep.
And then you would sell it at $1.5 million. You, as the kid, pays taxes on capital gains of just what it grew after you took it over.
Gotcha.
It's called a step up in basis.
I was doing a video on this like a couple days ago because I was trying to see like what's the difference with putting it into a trust, but it doesn't really change too much.
In a
besides-
revocable living trust, nothing changes.
Right.
In an irrevocable trust,
Property and
it doesn't have any taxes at all until sold. Cool.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's a sales tactic too. Is like you make the cons not really cons.
Right.
Like I don't know. Can you come up with any cons? I don't have any. If I had more cons, I wouldn't do this business. And these are words that you start saying. Yeah. If I thought there were cons to it, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. Okay. If you lose your job and can't pay, my first question, if somebody asks me that, I would say, are you planning on that? And if they say no, I say, then don't worry about it. You don't want to create that reality for yourself, do you? And then they're going to say, well, no, but just what if? Well, if you can't pay, it'll use the cash value.
Yeah.
And if there's no cash value, then you either got to pay or you're going to lose your policy. What happens if you lose your job with your rent? Well, you either pay it or you got to move out.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with your policy. And then I'm like, sometimes you have to turn into like a coach or motivational speaker, like an inspiring person, and be like, hey, listen, like that, but we don't want to create that. Like that's never going to happen. You're a 25-year-old woman. You're going to be in should be the least amount of money you ever make for the rest of your life. Yeah, and if you're worried about losing your job right now, then I don't even want to sell you a policy. The takeaway. Yeah, like if somebody thinks like that, they have a good or bad dialogue with money. So are they more or less likely to not pay their premium?
Less.
So are you more or less likely to have a chargeback?
Or
So should you be more or less willing to sell them a policy?
Less.
Yeah. That would be a red flag to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just in the presentation, she just said it's just that, like, to somebody who hasn't learned about life insurance that's in the banking
Yeah.
industry, I think she was coming more of a place of like, it sounds too good to be true. Like, what are the actual cons before somebody fully committing to this? You know?
Yeah. Another thing you can say is that it's not too good to be true. If everything's always too good to be true, how will you know when there's a good opportunity?
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't always that everybody could do this. This was pretty much reserved for the wealthy for a long period of time.
Mhm.
But it's something, if you're the government, like these are all just things that I like to spew out, right? Like, where do you learn about money from? School. And who runs the school system? And how does the government make money? So if the government makes money off of taxes, would they ever teach a tax-free strategy?
No.
So that's why I don't learn about it at school. Like these little things solve those answers. There's questions. And then they're like, okay. And it just moves past it.
Yeah.
You gotta have some of these things in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So that's that. Now, I'm going to combine these two also because they kind of work together, right? So what the questions about the loan specifically, if you can remind me, what are they?
So somebody asked in the call yesterday, can I invest 50,000, take out 47,000 and reinvest it to basically double my cash value?
Cool. So first thing I like to correct my people on the calls. So first thing I would say is life insurance is not
Investment.
an investment. So make that clear because we are not financial advisors. So we can't say the words investment. So it's not an investment, it's life insurance. But you can put your money into it. All right. These are just, again, little things. So I would clarify that for them. What does that do for you? It gives you control and credibility.
Mm.
So they put $50,000 in cash into a policy. Right? What they're really doing is they're doing $50,000 of paid up additions.
Mhm.
There is you don't have to explain all of this to a client, but I'm explaining it to you. There is what's called a 6% PUA load, which means that 6% of the 50,000 is going to go directly to the life insurance company. It's going to increase your death benefit and you don't have access to that part.
Mhm.
Okay. So 4% of 50,000 is 2,000. So then you're going to have a 48,000, 5 times 6 is 3. You're going to have $47,000 of cash value.
Right.
Now you can leverage 95% of that cash value,
Gotcha.
which 5% of 47 is 2350. So 45,650. Somebody can math check me, but I think that's accurate. Yeah, that would be the actual loan amount.
Mm-hmm.
44,650.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. That would be the loan amount. Now, when you do this, You could, if there's additional paid up edition space, if there's additional room
Right.
to put into it, you could. What?
Before like you get taxed.
Yeah, before the MEC limit.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, here's you. Here's your policy. Let's say 50,000 is here, and the max you can put in is 100,000 in the year. All right. Could you use this to overfund it again, and then borrow against it? Sure, but you're gonna have now again. You're gonna now pay another 6%. It's gonna decrease the net amount of money that you have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the other question that I had with that is, do you have to pay the loan back before you can borrow from your cash value again?
Great question. The answer directly is no,
Okay.
unless that's the maximum amount. Meaning that, let's say, like on One America, you'll see like the total available value to borrow. If you say I want to take the maximum,
Mhm.
and you take all, let's say 50,000 is all the cash that's in there. This is the max. Let's say this is the maximum right here.
Yeah.
The policy can only fit 50K. You take 44,650 as a loan. And your question is exactly, do I have to pay this back before I can do it?
Take another loan out.
Well, in this example, you wouldn't be able to take any more loan.
What if you weren't at the maximum?
Then yes, up
Okay.
to that next level.
Okay.
Yep.
So you would be able to technically like re-put the money back in and then
Yeah.
double your cash value.
Yeah. But you're not doubling your cash value though.
So when you put the money back in, would it be going to pay off the loan or would it be buying more PUA?
You can have it elect to buy you more PUA.
So would that double the cash value or?
Sure, but then you're also going to be doubling the loan amount that you have.
Right, which eventually would end up not equaling.
I mean, it wouldn't be a play that I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would ask that client, what's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Be like,
He was just like, is this like an infinite money glitch? But it was just being fixed.
Yeah, it's not a glitch. Like then boom, like my first thought process goes to the first page 3 of Becoming Your Own Banker, second column, third paragraph essentially says this is not a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
And I would just let them know that.
it's got to be an honest banker. Like an honest banker
Yeah.
would not do that to his banking function.
What's it say?
You said what page?
That page, second column, third. No, that's the first column. Second column, third paragraph down. 1, 2, 3. Something about
Yeah, it is not a procedure to get rich quickly. To the contrary, it requires long range planning. I'm educated as a forester, having worked in that field as a consultant for 10 years. Essentially, yeah, you're saying plan as if you're going to live forever and live as if you're going to die today.
So I would be like, what would be the purpose? I mean, technically, you'd be getting more dividends next year, sure, but like that's not the game. That's not the purpose of this. So like then it comes back to the second paragraph of that same exact column, which is like dividends. Interest rates go up and down, and the dividend scale changes a lot. So like, there's no it's not. That's not the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So, kind of plays into this. So, when would it make sense to do PUA, and when would it make sense to pay a loan off?
Great question. It only makes sense to pay off a loan. It only makes sense to pay off a loan if you are maxed out of paid up editions and you have a steady income.
Because you're
And this is
essentially
just my perspective.
You're essentially saying you're going to get a windfall. You're pretty much saying
At some point, you're going to get a windfall.
right.
Everyone should just start manifesting windfalls.
Right.
Like a windfall is a random lump sum of cash that you come about. If you're in sales, if you're in real estate, if you're in insurance, like Taylor's gonna get a windfall from his big policy.
Right.
Like we don't run a business. Like if we run a restaurant, we know that we're gonna have people come in at lunch and people come in at dinner, and we have this many tables, and that's what we serve, and our sales are pretty consistent, right?
Right.
Like, at a bar, Friday night, Saturday night, it's going to be busy. You're probably going to do X amount of dollars in sales. Like there's things, just like start thinking that way. For us, we only pretty much get windfalls. We get paid policies at different moments in time. So if you're a young person, I like to sell them the dream. If you're a young person that's expanding their life and they're making more and more money as time goes on, then you don't have to necessarily worry about paying back the loan right now. Just go keep using paid up additions, go grow, and you'll get a windfall one day. And this is like very common in business, but it takes all the things that Dave Anderson's talking about. Like it takes grit, it takes guts. It's hard. Like a real example of that is like my 0% interest credit cards. Like I've just been running the business off of 0% interest credit cards for the last 2 years. I have, but like I don't worry about it because I know there's a windfall. So like I'll just keep doing. I just keep playing that game. The only time that gets you in trouble is if you fail.
Right.
But the only time you're gonna fail is if you quit. Like so like that, I'm not gonna quit. So like it only matters that you have loans outstanding if
You stop playing the game.
you stop putting more money in. But it's also really important for you as an agent to know, like this is actually a really good concept too. It's like I got to use the house as an example. Let's say you have $1 million home, and if you don't know anything about real estate, this would be a good thing to know too. Let's say you have $1 million home, but you have $500,000 in equity. Does anyone not know the difference? It's totally cool. Like I've spent a lot of time, like I enjoy the basics of finance. Does anyone not know the difference between the two?
Equity is what has been paid off in the house. That's how much.
Yep. Like the down payment plus the portion of the mortgage payments that go to principal, not interest.
Right.
Got me? Yeah, like I enjoy the learning of the finance. So like if there's any time like, hey, what does that mean? Please ask me.
Well, I've never understood it that way because I feel like I've seen equity go up
Uh-huh.
according to like what the market or other people say the value of the home is.
Cool.
So it can go up like, a lot or it can go down or
Great point. So the equity will never go up or down because of the market. The value of the home will go up and down because of the market. But if you look at like
This camera literally is following you.
if you look at let's say so a typical person is going to put 20% down on a home. And what Jeff was saying in California is actually not accurate. Seven. I looked up the other day because somebody asked me. He said, don't most people only put 3% down for like FHA loans? No, the average in the entire United States was 17%. What the average person puts down on a home. But the standard is 20%. So if you're putting 20% down for 30 years at 6.5% interest and whatever you're here, your mortgage is gonna on $1 million home. This home right here is $5,797, and that's what you're gonna buy the house with. Now, every single year when you pay, how many of you have never seen an amortization schedule before? All right, cool. So this is how your mortgage works. This is how your premiums work too, by the way, in the beginning. Okay, is that you're paying, and not with interest, but just with the idea. So every single month, you're paying, what was it?
5,400.
Yeah, 50 something. 5,000 something. 5,000 and change. Okay. So the first month of a mortgage, only $718 goes to principal and $4,354 goes to interest.
That's crazy.
And interest, the definition of interest is the fee that the banker charges for their work. So don't get deceived by what they teach you about interest. The only thing interest is the banker or the fee that the banker charges to do their work. Okay. We were just reading the Bible. We read it every morning together. In Psalm 15, he was talking that a good man gives money and lends money to people without interest.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So this is interest. This means that only $718 so at this point you have $200,000 in equity. You put a $200,000 down payment. Okay. Then first month you add 718 in equity. Second month you're at 722. So and so
You have your car? Mortgage, death pledge.
yes.
All loans.
Yeah.
All loans. This is why infinite banking is so important. Because you go buy a single family home, they have lied to us. The only people that like, if you watch the movie The Founder, you should watch it. It's one of my favorite movies. It's the McDonald's movie of Ray Kroc buying out McDonald's, and he is about to buy out the McDonald's brothers. If you don't know, in a sentence, like Ray Kroc didn't actually start McDonald's. He thought it was a great idea and bought it from them, and then built what we know of today.
Real estate.
And in order for him to buy them out, he had to mortgage his home. So before, you would buy the house in cash only, and then you would only mortgage your home if you were in a pickle.
Mm.
Because mortgaging is literally giving the bank the right, like when you buy a house and you take a little picture with the little key and your realtor and says like, I just bought a home. You don't even have the title to the house. The bank does for 30 years.
You literally are paying the bank for the privilege of financing your house.
Yes. And then the bank, look, over the course of time, you end up paying them the banker makes $1 million
It's crazy.
of interest. This is the fee. You end up paying $1.8 million for your $1 million home. And then we get deceived into thinking that your home is gonna appreciate. It ain't gonna appreciate. If you take, look, this is how you gotta sell yourself. I know I'm going off on a little tangent here, but look, $1 million times 1.04. The average single family home in America appreciates 4% over the last 40 years. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Over 30 years, that $1 million home is going to be worth $3 million. But you have to subtract two things. One is that you just paid $1 million of interest
Right.
to the bank. So now you only have $2 million. And the other is that if you do sell the home, you have to pay capital gains tax, which is 20% on $2 million, which lowers it another $800,000, which means that over the course of 30 years, you just increased your actual money 200 grand over 30 years, which is less than 10 grand a year.
That's why a single family home is not an investment.
So, and look what happens. This it continues on like this for years. Look, this is the principal. This is the interest. And it doesn't flip
I'm probably 8
ever.
Right.
Okay. And now at the end, you end up paying the last part in principal, last in interest. So your equity per se is only the principal payment part of it. And it really isn't equity. That's also a lie too. You're just paying down the loan.
Right.
You're just paying off the debt. So like it really isn't true equity either, but they call it that. So when you understand this, like after a whole year, you now have $202,000 in equity. So now, let's say you're like, hey, I want to buy a car and I don't have any other cash. And the mortgage broker from my BNI group is going to come like in 2 weeks, I think, and explain this. But what the bank will allow you to do now is you put 200 grand down. They allow you to take what's called a home equity line of credit. And they usually will give you, let's just call it about 60%. Huh?
I said 60.
Yeah, 60% of your equity at X% of interest.
Mm.
So 60% of 200 is $120,000 at, let's call it 7%. And they also give you another 30-year term. A HELOC and a HE loan is really just a second mortgage. Just a lie. They just lie to you.
Ma'am, can you,
So-
because you're on this topic, babe, this little book says this for perfect. Can you put HELA next to infinite banking and then like show them the comparisons?
Yeah.
Like that's what you're doing right now with HELA.
Well, yes, I can. I'm just trying to teach them the actual concept of leverage right now. Yeah, I think we can do that on a product training, like higher next like 2.0. They're asking like basic, like how do you even leverage what does it actually mean to leverage the cash? So when you do this HELOC, you don't actually decrease the amount of equity that you have in your home. You're just leveraging against it.
At a newer interest rate because it's another loan, right?
This loan and this mortgage have absolutely nothing to do with each other. You can take out you can take out a mortgage with Bank of America and do a HELOC with Chase.
Mm.
They have nothing to do with each other. They're two separate things.
So like I was talking to Kevin, and Kevin was like he pulled all the equity out of one of the houses that he had.
Uh-huh.
All of it. He
Yep.
pulled all the equity out of it and just went to go use it to purchase more real estate.
Yeah.
What would be the purpose of someone just pulling all the equity out of the house?
The purpose would be to go make more money somewhere else.
And then they just get rid of that house and just leave it?
He probably didn't. When he says I took all the equity out, he means I took 70% of the equity out.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can't actually take all the equity out without selling the home.
But
Because he said it was a junk. He said it was like a trashed house. So he was like, he just used all the equity
Yeah,
and
and go do something else. Yeah, like this is leverage.
Mhm.
So this is again, just now to make it like life, bring it back to life insurance. This is your policy. Policy equals the actual home, whereas the HELOC equals the loan. They happen to be in the same company, but technically they wouldn't have to be. It's just not the way the insurance companies work, but like technically, and you can kind of for life settlements, but without getting too deep into it, like you could, it's just they're leveraging the cash value and that's it. But it does not decrease your cash value.
What's the difference?
Yes. But this doesn't increase your equity of your home either.
True.
It just leverages against the equity of your home. It's more like,
so are you paying?
does anyone have a 10
Are you paying interest on both?
or a 5? I only have 20s.
they smell
Look at that.
You have a 10?
5.
All right, cool.
Oh,
So like, look, this is leverage. Fernanda's got $20. I notice, I'm a banker. I notice she's got $20. I go to her and say, hey, you got $20. Okay. I'll give you $10 more. Okay. I'm going to give you $10 more. You still now have $30. But if you don't pay me back on that $10, I'm going to take $10 from your $20 and I'm going to charge you interest on it. You still have, these are separate things. Boom. The $20, keep on like separate hands. The $20 is the original amount of money she has. The $10 is the amount that I'm willing to give her with her $20 as collateral. And if she doesn't pay me back on that 10, I was taking it like that on purpose, right? Then I'm going to take her 20 and I'm going to give her 10 back. And now she owes me more money than she had in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But you as the bank don't even have all the money. that you say you have.
Right.
If everybody were to pull all their money out, then the bank would go
Of course.
bankrupt.
Which happened in 1929, and I think it'll happen again in the next 5 to 10 years. However, the bank bets on you doing what?
You missing out.
Yeah, not paying, failing. Does the average American have a lot of wealth or a lot of debt?
Yeah.
Do they usually pay their shit on time or late?
Late.
Every time they pay late, what do you get charged? A late fee. And if you don't pay off your credit card on the day that it's due, you get charged 28.89% interest. Interest is the fee that they charge you to allow you to use their money.
Right.
So with the policy loan, okay, with a policy loan, the loan is separate. It's collateral. It's not an actual loan.
And what I would see, you have more access to your money because you said 60-70% of the HELOC. But
Yeah.
I see the way we design it, it's about 90%.
Yeah, 89.3. And the interest, to Christian's point, now people, the IUL people, aka us in the past, me, Feliciano, Taylor, like Christian, so we all sold IULs beforehand. One? I sold 112.
I saw myself. Well, he sold me an IUL.
Okay. But they'll tell you that the dividends are a return of premium. This is a good thing to understand.
Yeah.
This is an overpayment.